Hi and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I bid to Dr. BAHIYAH binti ABDUL WAHAB. My name is NURUL Asreen Balqis binti MASROM from 2 PPISMP Science 2. My metric number is P211-23306. Today, I am going to present about my project content in Sces 1142. What is linear equation? Alright, let me tell you. Linear equation is an equation between two variables that gives a straight line when plotted a graph. In linear equation, the most important thing that one must know is y equals to mx plus c. Okay, let's continue our presentation with this equation. What are those? Y equals to mx plus c has their own meaning inside the symbol. Y is the y-axis, m is the gradient, x is the x-axis, and c is the y-intercept of the equation. As we all know, linear equations are normally exist in the terms of mathematics, isn't it? Little did you know, there are a lot more application of linear equation in science too. For example, linear equation appears in physics, biology, and also chemistry. In this presentation, I am going to share about one application of linear equation in physics, which is about the pressure. You want to get to know more? Let's continue our presentation. According to Han Academy, pressure can be defined as the physical force that we exert on an object. Also, the force applied to the object is perpendicular to the surface of the object per unit area. Moreover, the unit of pressure is in pascals. The formula for pressure is P equals to F over A. P is the pressure in pascals, F is the force in Newton, and A is the area in meters squared. Alright, let's take a look at this situation. Arshad is a plywood maker. The plywood has a constant pressure value for a person to step up on it. Otherwise, it will be broken. Arshad is going to use different area of plywood to see the number of force applicable for the different area. In this situation, the plywood has its own constant value, which is equals to 2000 Pascal. But Arshad wants to see if he changes the area of the plywood, what force can be exerted that don't going to make that the plywood broken. So here in this experiment, he is going to change the number of area to see what force can be exerted on that particular plywood. So the formula for pressure is P equals to F over A. Here in this experiment, we are going to see what is the force, so we are going to put the force in front so that it will be easier in our calculation.
So, this is the data that Arshad got from conducting his observation experiments.
So, to get this data, we are going to use the formula F equals to PA. So, the force is what we are going to search. P is the constant value, and A is what is the area that we changed, which is 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, and 0.5 meters squared. Here, from the table, we can see that if the area is 0.1 meter squared, the force is used 200 Newton. And if the area is 0.2, the force is 400 Newton. If the area is 0.3 meter squared, the force is 600 Newton. If the area is 0.4 meter squared, the force used is 800 Newton. And the last one is if the area is 0.5 meter squared, the force being used is 1000 Newton.
From the table, we can get this graph after plotting the coordinate.
From the data, we can get a graph. The x-axis of the graph is the area of the plywood in meters squared, and the y-axis is the force in Newton. After finish plotting the graph, we can see the straight line on the graph.
The gradient of the graph which is the m, is equal to the constants of this experiment, which is the pressure.
From the graph, we can clearly see a straight line, right? But how can we get the equation of the straight line? Alright, first of all, we need to find the m, which is the gradient. The gradient of the line can be calculated by using the formula of y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Secondly, choose any coordinate from the straight line and substitute it into the equation to find the y-intercept. Lastly, we can write the actual equation by inserting the value of m and y-intercept into the equation. So, this is the calculations to find the linear equation. From this, we can get the linear equation, which is y equals to 2000x. How to find? First of all, we need to find the m. M is equal to 2000, and we need to find the y-intercept, which is c is 0. So, we can get the actual linear equation from the straight line that has been plotted.
In my calculation, I used two different coordinates to find the m. The first coordinate is 0.5 for x and 1000 for y. The second coordinate is 0.2 for x and 400 for y. In order to find m, we need to minus the y and then divided it by the minus of x. In this case, 1000 is minused by 400 and divided by 0.5 minus 0.2. So, we get the m is 2000. The second step is to find the y-intercept. To find y-intercept, we need to pick one coordinate to insert it into the equation of y equals to mx plus c. In this case, I use 0.2 and 400 coordinate to insert it into the equation. Just now, we had calculated the m value, right? So, what we need to do next is to put the y-axis number, which is the 400, inside the equation. M is 2000, x is 0.2, and lastly, we can find the c by substituting all the value inside the equation. In this case, we get the c is 0. That means the y-intercept in this equation is 0. For instance, we can see that our graph is start at 0. That is why our c or y-intercept is 0. With all of the informations that we got, we can write our own equation of straight line by substituting all the value that we got. Our general linear equation is y equals to mx plus c. So, in this case, our m is 2000 and our c is 0. With all of those values, we can get our equation as y equals to 2000x.
This is the references that I used to make this presentation. That's all from me. Thank you.